Okay guys, welcome back to our Adobe Illustrator tutorial series. As I mentioned before, this is the video where we're going to learn how to create a new document in Illustrator and how to customize the size of that new document and set up all the parameters we need to make a new document of the type that we like. Okay, so the way to do it is go File, New. You get this. First off is the New Document dialog box, and as it's highlighted already for you, you can tell this is the first thing you're supposed to do is name that document. And it's a good chance to talk about how we want to name our files in this class. What you want to do is give the file a name that you're going to recognize later on as the type of file that it is. But also what you want to do is add the date that you made the document. Also, you want to add your name so that if it gets mixed up with some other classmates or something like that, you'll know exactly which one's which. Okay, so for this document, it's going to be a demo. I'm making a demo for this video, and so it's going to be a demo file. And the type of demo is how to make a new document. So I'm going to call it new doc, short for new document. I'm going to do underscore demo. And I'm going to do underscore, and I'm going to add the date next. Okay, so the date today that I made this video is August 26th. So I'll type that in numerically, 8/26/14 for 2014. Okay, now I'm going to do another underscore. The reason I'm doing underscores is because sometimes when you add spaces in between things in the name of a file, it can cause compatibility issues, and so we don't want that. So I'll just always put an underscore instead of a space. All right. Next, I'm going to put my name, but I have a really long name, so I'm just going to do an abbreviation of my name. So I'll just put JDZ. Good. All right. Now, next up, we've got a profile, which right now is set to custom. And let's just expand that. As you can see, there's several different types of profiles that we can set for a new document in Illustrator. One's for print, which is probably what we're going to use. Then you've got one for web. You've got one for devices, like if you're going to be making graphics for an iPhone or an Android phone or something like that, or some sort of device. Then you've got video and film, and you've got basic RGB. Most all of the work we're going to do in this class, and most all the work you're going to do in general in Illustrator, will be print work. And so you see what happens is that Illustrator does a couple of things to these parameters down here when you set your profile to print. Okay, the first thing that it does, and I don't know why it does this, but it sets your units to points. And nobody knows what points are. I mean, we deal in inches, right? And so first thing we want to do is set this back to inches. So we'll set that to inches, and we'll take a look over here. And we'll realize the size of the thing we're doing is, it says letter. And if you don't know, a letter or letter size is 8.5 by 11. This is the thing that confirms it right here. All right. Alternatively, we could change these, the size of width and height to anything we really want. We could change it to 10 by, I don't know, let's say it's 50 inches high. Oh my gosh. And when we change that from a standard size, like a letter size, the size changes to custom. Okay. If we want to change that back to something simple, we'll just change it back to letter up here, and then it will automatically adjust the size, width, and height of our document. Okay. The reason we're going to leave it on letter right now is because we might want to print out a copy of our drawing, whatever it is, and we are aware that most 99% of the printers in the world right now are carrying letter size paper. We also, in our printers here at the school, have the option to print 11 by 17, as you know. And in the print world, 11 by 17 paper is known as tabloid. So you could switch this to tabloid if you wanted, okay? But as far as standard paper sizes go, it's going to be letter or it's going to be tabloid. For this one, for this demo, we'll leave it on letter. You also see this here, number of artboards. Let's just leave that at 1. To talk about artboards a little bit, an artboard is kind of like a sheet of paper you're going to draw on. Think about Illustrator as like your drawing desk at home, and the artboards are the pieces of paper you put down on your desk before you draw on them. So we'll just leave that at 1. We want to draw on one sheet of paper at a time, so we'll leave number of artboards at 1. Okay. Orientation is self-explanatory. We've got portrait and we've got landscape. We'll keep ours as portrait. The bleed right now is set to 0, 0, 0, 0, and I don't have time to talk about what bleed is, and we're not going to be doing any offset printing. Bleed has something to do with professional offset printing, and it's above our heads right now, so just make sure all of these read 0 and you're in the clear. All right? There is an advanced tab here that we can talk about a little bit. I'll open it up just to show you, but really it doesn't have anything to do with what we're going to be doing. It talks about the color mode of the document, which could be either CMYK or RGB. We'll leave it at CMYK for now. You've got raster effects, which talks a little bit about the pixels per inch. We have the option of high, medium, or screen, and that doesn't really matter for us right now, so we're just going to leave it at high because we might as well get the best quality we can. Preview mode is set to default. We'll leave it there. There's also the option for pixel or overprint. Forget about that. And then the very last thing under the Advanced tab is this Align Objects to Pixel Grid. And if you check this, what it does is allows you to line up objects with a higher tolerance, a higher precision than if it's unchecked. It allows you to line up objects all the way to the pixel, to the very smallest pixel. And this is basically for web designers. If you're a web designer, you want to make sure that your graphics and the assets you create for websites are lined up to the highest degree of precision possible. And in that case, and in this case, it means all the way to the very pixel, to the single pixel. And normally without this checked, you can't get that level of alignment. But with this checked, you can. So anyway, it's not for us because we're not doing web design, but if we ever decide to, make sure you always check this first. Okay, close that up. There you go. And you can see here it gives you a little preview of what's in there. So if you feel like it, you can just glance at that. If not, whatever. This templates button is for if we want to skip this entire step of creating a new document on our own and just open up a pre-made new document to a certain size, like a letter size or like a CD cover size or a business card size. The templates are here, and you can click on that to bypass this whole process. But we're not going to worry about that because we're going to always make our own custom new docs. So there you go. There it is. That's it. We've set the name. We've set the number of artboards. We've set the size of the document. We've set the units to inches, the orientation, and we've confirmed that our bleed is at 0. And we are happy and ready to go. So I'm just going to hit OK. And that is that. We now have opened our first new document in Adobe Illustrator. Now, up here in the upper left-hand corner is the tab that holds our document. You can see the name of it right here, New Doc Demo by Jay Deasy. It's at 113% right now. There you go. And what will happen is as you open multiple documents in Illustrator, they will stack up alongside themselves and these little tabs right here, just like tabs on your internet browser. Okay, so you can close them down by clicking this little X, and then you can go to open them again by going File, Open. But there you go. All right. So we've made a new document. We've talked a little bit about the new document dialog box. And now I just want to talk to you a little bit before we go about how to navigate around this document. I'm just going to give you this one quick tip before we shut down this video, and that tip is the space bar. With one finger, I want you to hold down the space bar and watch what happens. Your cursor will change from an arrow to a hand. Remember the hand tool from over here in the toolbox? Yeah. Spacebar changes this to a hand, and then with a click of the mouse and a little drag, you can actually grab this page and move it around. See? And so this is always how I like to start a new Illustrator document, is by just turning on my hand tool and just dragging this page around a little bit. For some reason, this just creates a little bit better connection between this digital world that I've just created for drawing and my actual physical world where I am. It just gives me a little bit more fluidity and just kind of creates a better connection where I just feel a little bit more comfortable in this digital realm. So I encourage you to do the same. There is a little bit of a risk involved with this. You do have the opportunity to drag your page all the way off the screen to where you can't even see it anymore. And that could be a little bit terrifying, because then if you go back with your mouse and try to click without holding down spacebar, you can't get to your page again, and you might think, oh my gosh, what do I do? You have a couple of different options. You can use these slider bars right here to slide to where you think your page is, and then go over and then still you can't find it. Oh my gosh, where is my page? I've lost it. Okay, see? So now it's really off into space. I don't know where it is at this point. So what do? I just want to give you the one tip. It's under View, because we want to see this thing again. So let's look up here at our options bar. I told you this is under the hood of the program. This is where you can get to every single one of the nuts and bolts of Illustrator. So you have to think like this, like, what do I want to do? I want to see my page again. So I want to view my page. So I'll go to View, click on View, all right, and I'll look down at all my options. I'll kind of scan around to see which one of these options seems like it might help me find my page again. Look at this one here, Fit Artboard in Window. Control-0 is the hotkey. If I click on that, boom, it brings my page right back up to my face to where I want it to be. So I lost it and now I found it again. All right. So there you go. There's some tips on how to create a new document and then how to navigate around your new document, how to get a little bit comfortable with your new document and move it around a little bit and get ready to draw on it. I know whenever I sit down at my drawing board at home, I pull out a fresh sheet of paper. I always spin the paper around a little bit, move it around a little bit, just get my creative juices flowing. And using the space bar and the mouse, that kind of is the same sort of thing. Get yourself ready to draw, and that's what we're going to do in our very next video. Is we're going to start drawing. We'll be using the pen tool here, and we're going to start laying down some line work. And so tune in for that one. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you later. Get out of here. All right. Okay. Goodbye.